It's Friday, June 6th, and the feud between President Trump and Elon continues. Democrats now choosing sides, jumping on the Elon bandwagon. Multiple high-profile Dems saying it was a mistake to turn on Elon. We welcome you back with open arms. We'll show you. Also agreeing with him on Trump's big, beautiful bill, explaining last night why they're voting no, saying it's not about the deficit, not about tax on tips or on overtime. You won't believe what their number one problem is with this bill. And Stacey Abrams, the failed Dem Georgia gubernatorial candidate who Biden awarded billions in tax-free nonprofit grants to, may be finding herself in some hot water. Wait till you see what her nonprofits spent their money on. But before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out the channel. And consider subscribing so you don't miss these regular updates. So the feud between Elon and Trump continuing to play out. Elon posting last night and this morning about why Trump's big, beautiful bill is bad, calling it a pork-filled abomination. But what's odd is the lack of context. Elon's usually very detail-oriented. He prides himself on getting to the root problem and fixing it, taking the first principles approach. That's his thing. So why then hasn't he explained exactly what's wrong with the bill, what he wants changed, funding-wise? The only thing I see wrong with it is that it raises the debt ceiling by $5 trillion. I don't see any special favors being dished out, any special grants like you see in most of these big omnibus bills. Why they can't just vote on raising the debt ceiling separately, I have no idea. I feel like that would solve all of these problems. What the bill does do, though, it does deliver on no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security for seniors effectively, immediately cuts all illegals off Medicaid, a huge thing, saving $1.5 trillion over 10 years, not to mention fully funding Trump's border wall. Huge campaign promise. This bill includes all 1,500 miles of wall, over land, over water. And the wall is paid for in this bill. Nobody mentions that. This bill specifically pays for the wall by raising fees on foreigners applying for visas to the U.S. It's paid for, not by taxpayers, but by foreigners. Look, the only problem I see, funding-wise, is that it raises the debt ceiling. That's it. Is that what Elon's upset about? Is that his problem with the bill? I don't know. He hasn't said. He hasn't gotten specific about what he wants changed. It's all very odd. It's odd how Trump is unusually quiet about this. Normally, we'd see Trump hitting back 10 times harder, but he's not. He mentions cutting SpaceX's contracts, but that's it. Well, now like clockwork, Dems have come full circle, just as you'd expect, coming out in support of Elon Musk, saying they regret attacking Elon, regret pushing him away. We welcome you back, Elon. Sorry for firebombing your businesses. We love you now. Watch.
What do you make of Musk's criticism of the bill?
Well, it's like I've been saying, the Dems, we've been dumping all over Musk and vandalizing Teslas or whatever, and now suddenly we might be more back into him and thing. It's just like it's like he's right about the big beautiful bill. I mean, now it's like adding a $2.5 trillion debt. I mean, it's astonishing. I can't imagine anyone genuinely think this is like a smart thing, and that's where we are. And now it's suddenly Musk is right. Well, we were just going after him for all those months now and showing up at Tesla dealerships and all those kind of things. It's like we have to decide, where are we thinking about him?
Are Democrats disingenuous, suddenly finding Elon Musk as their new best friend?
Well, I'm saying, all I'm saying though, it's like he's right about the big beautiful bill. And now suddenly, it wasn't that long ago that Tesla's was like the virtue signaling kind of accessory for Dems as well too. So now where we are on all those kind of a thing now, where I follow what is the truth. I would never want to vandalize Teslas, and now the big beautiful bill is wrong for America. And so from my perspective, it's like I just try to be consistent through that.
So is this all four-dimensional chess? Is this Trump's plan all along? Last week, Dems hated Elon. Now they love him. Trump wants to raise the deficit. Now Dems are fighting to cut the deficit. You can't make this up. I really do think it could be all one giant con. Elon's taken a lot of flack, a ton of flack. He's been the punching bag for Trump since September 2024. Is this a way for him to gain back some of the bipartisan support he's lost? We saw Trump go to bat for Elon when things got tough a few months ago, Trump letting Musk show off his Teslas on the front lawn of the White House. Well, Elon's done now. He's no longer part of the administration. Is it so hard to believe he prearranged this with Trump, knowing Dems love anyone who criticizes him? All Elon has to do is say that thing about Epstein, and he's back in their good graces. Unfortunately, though, for everyone, the current Dem party is nuts, crazy. Their number one problem with the BBB isn't raising the deficit. They're fine with that. Their problem is cutting illegal aliens off Medicaid, not giving free health care to illegals. That's the red line for Democrats. Unbelievable.
Everyone deserves health care.
Even illegals?
Every single person in the world deserves
Just for the
healthcare.
record, as a candidate, you're for illegal aliens getting Medicaid.
I think everyone in the world deserves
That's a
healthcare.
yes. That's a yes.
I'm such a
That's a
monitor.
Democratic
I mean,
position.
it is a yes, but
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a Democratic
Everyone in the
position.
world
Illegal
deserves
aliens should
healthcare.
get Medicaid.
But I mean, I mean,
How is this
I mean,
controversial?
I don't. But
How is it controversial?
How is it controversial to think I don't want someone to die in the hospital because they can't afford
Who do you
it?
think pays for health care when undocumented people show up at a hospital? Who pays for that?
We all pay for it.
Exactly.
including
I mean, we all
undocumented
pay
people
for
because
it.
they actually contribute.
That's the point. That's the point.
We do realize that undocumented
Who pays for the welfare system in this country generally? Taxpayers.
And perhaps,
Are you for it or not?
Can I start my logic train?
Are
with
you for it or not?
My logic train starts with
Just-
the fact
just
that
say
I don't
yes.
want to kick 11 million people off
Do you
of
want
Medicaid.
the illegal aliens on or not?
Do I want first of all, do I want undocumented citizens to
Just
have
say
health care?
yes.
The answer is yes.
Scott,
Okay.
if someone is
More
undocumented,
Democrats.
do you want them to not get insulin if they're diabetic?
I want Medicaid to exist first and foremost for American citizens who need it. That is what I
What about
want.
second? How about this? When the people that are
passionate.
picking your peaches. Yeah, I'm passionate
Very
about Americans.
passionate for the illegals.
Bakari,
No, I'm passionate for
How dare
Americans.
you want people to be alive? How dare you?
Passionate for the illegals. Bring more.
No, I actually want
But yes,
safe and secure borders.
You need more. To make your vision of America work, we need more illegals who get more benefits. That's your version of America.
No, what I want from America is a place that was promised to us, Scott.
To the
Like you
illegals?
do. No, it was promised to us. It was promised to
Us
us,
who?
not us, me and you, black and white, brown. Scott, do you think that your family was
You were
born
born
here?
here.
You weren't born here, Scott.
I was born in
First of all,
Dawson Springs.
where does your family come from? My family wasn't born here. My family was actually from Sierra Leone.
You're making
Scott,
a passionate argument
Correct,
for a
about what
country
our
built,
country's-
built on unfettered illegal immigration, and that is not
No,
anywhere
our
near
country,
a politically popular
Our
position.
country is built on immigration, period.
What kind?
Period.
What kind?
Oh, and first of all, before we go to commercial, what kind? What kind of immigration was I brought here?
You're already
with?
in the hole. You sure you don't want to stop
No,
digging?
because it was slavery. That's not immigration.
Come on.
well, okay.
Come on, what?
All right, there's a lot to be said.
Come on.
Hold on.
No, but you
No,
just
no,
can't
we-
say come on when somebody's like, my family was brought here in chains. The answer is not come on.
We're gonna.
In another story, Stacey Abrams, the darling of the Dem party, the failed Dem Georgia gubernatorial candidate, may be in hot water after her nonprofit was caught allegedly funneling $20 million to her lawyer, who was also her longtime friend. Now, if you're wondering, like I was, how in the world does Stacey Abrams have 20 mil just to hand out to her friends? This is someone with no useful skills. She didn't start a very successful business. She didn't earn the money working hard, I don't know, pouring concrete or sandblasting houses, saving, investing wisely. No, instead, the Biden administration gave her a $4 billion tax-free grant with our tax dollars to help protect voting rights. That's where the money came from. Does Stacey Abrams, I don't know, have a track record of protecting voter rights? Is she the best person to handle $4 billion of our tax money? No. Her only achievement was serving in the Georgia State House, which she got nothing done when she was there. We checked. So why do we even know her name? Because in 2018, she ran for governor in Georgia. She lost, which kicked off the largest aggrievement tour in political history.
Without voter suppression, Stacey Abrams would be the governor of Georgia.
If this country wasn't racist, Stacey Abrams would be governor. It was the voter suppression, particularly of African American communities, that prevented us from having a Governor Stacey Abrams right now.
Yes. Stacey Abrams ought to be the governor of Georgia. When racially motivated voter suppression is permitted, we cannot truly say that we live in a democracy.
Yes, it was race. That's why she lost. It couldn't possibly be because, I don't know, she's not qualified for the job. It couldn't be because her only qualification was her career as a romance novelist. Yes, that's what Stacey Abrams used to do. Before Joe Biden gave her $4 billion of our tax dollars, she wrote naughty, spicy adult books. Here's a clip from Tucker Carlson years ago doing a dramatic reading of Stacey Abrams' romance novel. This'll cheer your day up. Roll the tape.
I know Stacey Abrams as the one true governor of Georgia, never elected, but still spiritually in charge. But she's more than that. Stacey Abrams is one of the most talented and sauciest romance novelists of a generation. But like so many great artists, she can be underappreciated. And that's why our senior editorial producer, the great Tom Fox, spent $7 to track down a copy of one of her steamier novels, the 2006 tour de force, Hidden Sins. Now, most of the novel is a mystery, and to be honest, we didn't really follow the plot line. That's not because the writing was bad. Oh, no. This is Amanda Gorman level stuff. Really, it's because our eyes were drawn reflexively to the more salacious elements of the novel, like moths to a very, very hot flame. How hot? Well, our senior producer, Alex McCaskill, volunteered to perform a dramatic reading of the most titillating moments in Stacey Abrams' novel. He's still recovering from that. The recording session began innocently enough.
Heat, like an inferno, blazed in his veins. Temptation, like a song, clouded his mind. It demanded that he slide his arms around her, that he trail his hand along her spine to sink into the silken curls at her nape.
Heat like an inferno. Temptation like a song. Now we know what you're thinking, grammarians. Hitting the similes a bit hard? At first we thought so. But then, like a half-empty train at Penn Station in the middle of the work week, we thought we could just pull away. Ho, ho, ho. But we were wrong. We had to continue.
Their tongues tangled, danced, and she reveled in the movement. She splayed eager palms against his chest and tormented the flesh she found there. Too far away, she gripped his waist to pull him closer until she stood cradled between his hard thighs.
She tormented his flesh with her palms. We were tormented as we read it. As we read it more, we noticed our thighs were also getting harder, much harder. But Stacey Abrams wasn't done with us yet. We hadn't encountered any of her dialogue yet. It was all exposition. And then it hit us. A full line of her characters actually speaking to one another, not just grunting, but speaking in language. It sent us over the top. Listen.
Hunger raged inside her, demanding to be sated. Wicked thumbs teased her too sensitive flesh and stole her breath. But it would mean nothing if he didn't understand. You're all I've ever wanted.
Wicked thumbs! Will we ever, going forward, ever be able to call Stacey Abrams anything but wicked thumbs? We'll see. Probably not.
One thing's clear. The self-dealing we saw during the Biden administration, next level. In the 76-day period between Trump winning and Biden leaving office, the DOE approved $93 billion in grants. The Department of Energy giving $93 billion of our tax dollars away with no oversight to these climate change entities with little to no financial history, meaning Democrats who started their own nonprofits and climate change entities filed grants to Biden's Department of Energy, and they were awarded our money. That's self-dealing, using the government as your personal piggy bank. Watch.
In 76 days, one loan much less $93 billion. How do you do it?
I think it's probably pretty clear it wasn't done in many cases. As I mentioned, I'm told I'm holding back clearly in place stuff. There is lots of funds that have gone out the door and commitments that were made from businesses that provided no business plan, no numbers about their own financial solvency or how this project
So you're telling me that the Department of Energy, in the 76-day period before their boss was going to leave office, gave our own money to entities that had no business plan?
Correct.
No financials?
Correct. A number of those were were before the 76-day period as well. I've come in with great concern about how this institution, this great American institution, has been run and how American taxpayer money has been handled. I'm sorry everyone's upset that we're taking some time to do it, but what we've seen, and what the record shows,
I'm
is
not
just
upset. Could it be that? Does anybody ever come to you? Or is it conceivable that some of these folks that heard about this free money came to you with a half-baked idea?
I think it's very conceivable. In fact, I've seen such plans that were half-baked would be charitable.
That didn't have a business plan, right?
Correct. A promise to develop one, to find a location.
Just give me the money and I'll develop the plan later.
Correct.
All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.